All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders, where we talk to founders about their companies, their visions for the future, and how the two collide. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to Sharath and Curtis, who are the co-founders of Shoutout. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having us. Super excited, pumped to talk to you about our journey, how we came up with the idea and whatnot.
Yeah, excited to dive in. But before we kind of go into the journey and whatnot, Shoutout. What is that? What are you working on for people that haven't heard of the company?
So, Shoutout is a platform that helps startups, creators leverage the social proof they get on Twitter. And we make it insanely easy for people to capture, curate, and publish a wall of love in less than 3 minutes.
Well, this is awesome. What is for people that don't know, and there might be, probably a fair amount. What's a wall of love? Like, walk me through a little bit about, kind of what the product kind of when you use it, what it does, what it feels like, what you're able to do with it. For people that aren't familiar with what kind of that terminology.
Right. So a wall of love is a combination of testimonials slash reviews from people that use your product or your service and whatnot. So, and it really helps. And social proof is proven to actually convert 80% of sales conversions, be it subscribers list, be it like little sales, and it helps. And people buy from people at the end of the day. And we believe in that. And word of mouth coming from a credible person works well. So that's what we're aiming towards to help creators, startups leverage the social proof they're getting on Twitter, since Twitter is this amazing platform that is becoming like a hub distribution channel where people not just market their products but use them as a distribution channel and do service, provide value to people, to their customers. So that's the whole idea behind the wall of love, and we wanted to empower that.
So walk me through a little bit into well, you kind of shared a little bit of why you started, but like what there's a million things you can work on, in the world. What was it about, this opportunity that you were interested about? Or I guess tell me about the origin story. Like, how'd you meet? Why'd you decide to work on this together? Walk me through, I guess, like how this all got started.
Yeah, so Sharath actually built this a landing page to kind of gauge interest after he made a bunch of products himself. So we both have similar backgrounds where we made products using no-code tools. One of the things you can do on one of your landing page is have those testimonials. So after going through the pain of doing that manually a couple of times, he launched a landing page in September and built a really simple MVP to validate this. And then in November, he used Twitter to actually put out a bat signal for a co-founder, and that's where I picked up. We'd run in some of the same no-code circles, and so that kind of came on my radar, and that's when I joined, and we kind of took it to the V2, which is what we've just launched.
That's awesome. This is cool because I don't know if I would consider myself a no code circle. Like, I'm a no coder. I love no code, and it's just like there's this corner of Twitter. It's a very big corner that of like makers, no code, creator, etc. I kind of actually want to dive into this. Sharath, you're like, Curtis maybe too, but I think I know about this from you, Sharath, and like you're prolific on Twitter for being a creator, for being a maker. Can you kind of just walk through what you're seeing on Twitter from your perspective and like in this kind of not even niche, but this kind of corner of the internet and what's going on?
Yeah, sure. So, and thank you for the kind words, Matt. Yeah, Twitter is becoming a phenomenal place, not just like a social media platform, but it connects people who are like-minded and who wants to do a lot of stuff, make a lot of noise, right? And no code especially is becoming that trend, and obviously for many reasons, is because you are not going to rely on any developer. No offense to developers, but basically what you do is like you can pick an idea and take it from 0 to 1 without any help, and you're independent. That entices me and that empowers me to become the builder I want to become. And literally what I did with Shoutout is the same thing. I launched the landing page, quickly validated. I got around like 300 signups in the first week, and I got responses from people that we need to see the MVP. Again, used the bubble as my no-code tool and shipped it, validated, and they asked for more features. And that's the sign you need. And all this happened because of no-code. And that's why I feel like I want to be that lighthouse of empowering people who are like me, who used to be like me, who are just like figuring out, and provide them tools, provide them with playbooks, with I don't know, with tips, hacks, methods, so that they can become who they want to become in their journey.
I love that. I really align with how you talk about like starting things like with no, yeah, you don't need anyone else when you do no code. You stitch together some Zaps and Airtable and Typeform and Weebly and boom, you got a company and you can get revenue with Stripe. It's a beautiful time to start a company. So walk me through a little bit of the like the day-to-day for both of you. So you started off just just building this out, but now you just said you launched a V2. Congratulations on the launch. I guess a couple questions around that. Like, how have you improved the product over time, especially as you've teamed up, and like, what are you spending your average day on for either of you can take that. What's an average day look like for you?
Right.
I can take that one. So what we've done with V2 is basically we took that bubble MVP, and my background is as a software developer. So Sharath basically said, I need someone to take this kind of beyond what bubble can let me do. And so now it's actually a code product. We use a lot of no code tools in the back office, but the product now is like a properly coded SaaS. And day to day, we both have full-time jobs. I'm working at On Deck. And so Shoutout is worked on at nights and weekends. And yeah, so far it's been a pretty, basically our goal is to, because we're part-time, just keep up momentum. So just constant improvements, compound those improvements, and yeah, just get 1% better every single day.
And I do have one question that I consistently bring up on this podcast because I need the listeners to like get it hammered into their brain. You keep mentioning Twitter. What's going on Twitter? Like is there people there? Like is there a community? Like obviously I know the answers to these. But like tell me what is going on Twitter, and why do you think it might be a good place to hang out or to meet people or to build as it's kind of turned into in the last several years?
So for many reasons, I don't know if you've heard of this complete movement, Build in Public, and it works insanely well on Twitter. And like I said, even before, uh, it is a platform flowing with full of knowledge, wisdom, tips, hacks, playbooks, and prolific people come forward to help others. That connection is doubling down on Twitter, and we are very bullish why Twitter is going to be the next big thing. It is already, but it is going to be massive thing compared to Facebook or like what other social platforms. And especially for us, the reason we started Twitter is because I personally get a lot of shout outs on Twitter, and the question I ask this question every time if before I start a project, which is what if this platform exists? Same way I question like what if all my shoutouts are under one place? So that naive, simple question started the whole thing, and me being active on Twitter gives me leverage of talking to people who are already on Twitter, using Twitter as a marketing platform distribution channel, and that naturally tends to be the source. So we picked Twitter on top of every other things.
And if let's say like let's look out 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, lots happens in the world. Let's just assume that this goes super big and things go right. What could this look like in 5, 10, 15 years? I guess in other words, what's the big vision and what direction are you both throwing in?
Yeah, sure. So our larger vision is to actually, this might sound ridiculous, but we want to monopolize the whole social proof niche. What I mean by that is creators, startups should manage all the shoutouts they're getting and the social proof they're getting from multiple media platforms under one place. So that's the higher vision, long-term vision. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, in order to make it happen, you'll need some help, right? It takes a village to get a startup off the ground and to scale it up. So my question for you is, how can the forward-thinking founders community help out? Are you hiring? Are you raising capital? Are you looking for users, testimonials, shout outs? How can we assist?
So we're right now in the growth mode, and we obviously are growing fast week by week. And only thing I would ask is to check it out and see Shoutout, use a wall of flow. And we believe that creators startups should have wall of flow on their wall and their website, which will convert, the leads they're getting into possible sales or conversions as subscribers and whatnot.
And then for my last question, if someone wants to kind of learn more about what you're doing, learn more about you kind of on the internet, where can they find both of you? Feel free to both take it if you want, but like, where can they find you online? What's your social handles, email, how can people get in touch?
Yeah, so if you want to check out Shoutout, it's shoutout.so. On Twitter, we're shoutout_so, and I am Curtis J. Cummings on Twitter.
And my Twitter profile is a little tricky. It's Sharath, but it starts with the 5. So 5 HARATH. And you can find us on Twitter, DM us. We're really happy to help you, with any sort of things, no code, be it like social proof, how to talk to community, like, how to build relationships or whatnot.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.